Hello, my name is Leanne and today we're gonna get ready. Starting off with my hair, I just wanna make sure I clip it off so it's away from my face. Starting with skincare, we are going to take this Physio Gel. This is the Calming Relief Facial Cream. I usually use this for whenever I have redness. This also helps me make sure that my skin is moisturized for the whole day. Next, I'm going to use the Laneige Cream Skin. This is a nice base to add to make sure we have that glowy skin. So I just put it in my hand and tap it onto my face. I'm sure you ladies already know that to be able to have a good base makeup, you really have to make sure that you have good skincare underneath and make sure you prep well. And the very last step for my prep is gonna be the Refi. This is a face primer, glow and sculpt. I usually try to put it in the middle of my face, right here. And then in my forehead. And after that, I'm gonna use my hand to tap it on my skin. And then I bring it towards the side of my face right here because that's where I want my base to look glowy. So right here and then going up here and then on my forehead, mainly the center of my forehead. While the products sink in our skin, I am going to move on to my eyebrows. I'm actually going back to my Got2B Glue. This gel is for guys. They use it to style their hair, but I remember watching a YouTuber talking about how it holds your eyebrows all day long. And I actually stopped using this for a while, but now I feel like no product has been holding my eyebrows that long, so I'm gonna go back to this. What I do is I just get a spoolie, a small spoolie like this, and then I'm gonna take my Got2B and I'm gonna squeeze that, and I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of product, and I'm gonna distribute that product all over my eyebrow hair first. Once the product is evenly applied to my eyebrows, I then use my finger and I push it down and just use my finger to make sure the product is distributed. With my finger, I also make sure I clean around it. As you can see, it's looking so much better than this one. And then now I'm going to shape it to however I want it to be. And I use my finger again to push it down on my skin to make sure it stays on place. Moving on to my other eyebrow, I'm gonna do the same thing again. Now my eyebrows are done. If you have been struggling with your eyebrows and finding the right product, this is absolutely the best brow product I've ever had. You can buy this at CVS or Walgreens, and there's so much product in this that I've had this for about 4 years now, and I still have up to here. So I'm telling you, try it. Now that our skin fully absorbed our prep, now we're going to move on to the best part of makeup, I think. Right next to blush is gonna be foundation. So I use both of this. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to mix both of this, but this is a really good foundation that I have, but it's too dark. And this is also a really good foundation that I have, but it's too light. So what I do is I mix both. I'm just going to put that on the back of my hand, and I put the Laura Mercier on top. Use my finger to mix it, and once I mix that fully, I'm gonna apply some in the middle of my face. So I just start with a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab my foundation brush. This is from Anissa Beauty. This brush is so good. And then I start working my way from the center of my face, and then I buff it outwards. The same with this side. Make sure you start blending it in the center of your face, and then you slowly bring that foundation on the outer parts of your face. And what I do is if I have leftover foundation, I just slowly brush that on my nose. I usually don't like a lot of foundation on my nose. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this part. Because I have some left over, I'm gonna apply a little bit more right here in the center. This is what my base looks like right now. Next, we are going to move on to concealer. I usually use both of this concealer. I absolutely love Kosas. This concealer is so creamy. And I also use Hourglass, which I don't love as much. I don't know, I feel like I just got the wrong shade. I am going to do Hourglass and put that right here. This will be my brightening concealer. Then for the Kosas, I'm gonna put that here. This is a little bit more closer to my skin, and I'm going to blend using my concealer brush. This is from Anissa Beauty. I'm going to blend that out. This is what my concealer looks like after it's blended. I think one mistake that I definitely did in the past is that whenever I blend out my concealer, I spread it everywhere. And now I learned that whenever you're blending your concealer, you want to make sure that you're just keeping it where you want the concealer to be. That for me will be on the spots where I applied the concealer. Next, we are going to move on to contour. So I use Dib. So this is in the shade 5.5. I sometimes use the blush part of this, which this is like a deep rose mauve color, and this is a darker shade that I use for contour. So I just put that where I want my contour to be. I put some on my forehead, and I put a sharp, thin one right here to make my cheekbones stand up. The brush that I'm gonna use to blend my contour will be Makeup by Mario. This is the double-sided one. And I'm just gonna blend. This brush is so good because I feel like it hugs my face well, like the sides over here, and it makes the blending process so easy. Next, we're going to move on to this other side. Now moving on to blush. I have two blush that I'm gonna use today. I was thinking of doing something pinkish, so I'm gonna use both of this. This is from Nude Sticks. So this shade is Sweet Cheeks, and then this shade is Cherry Blossom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the lighter shade on the center of my face, on the apples of my cheeks, and then I'm gonna use Sweet Cheeks, the darker shade, on the outer parts of my face. So using my Makeup by Mario, the smaller side, I'm gonna pick that up. So I make sure that I coat it all over the brush, and I'm gonna focus this on my cheeks. Once I put most of my blush in the center, I just go ahead and fan out the rest of it on the outer parts of where I put it to make sure that everything is looking blended. And now we're gonna do the same thing and do that on the other side of my cheeks. Focusing on the apples of my cheeks. I put my blush as close to my outer eye as much as I can. This gives a lifted effect. Now we are going to use the darker shade, and I'm gonna do the same thing, pick it up, and I'm gonna focus that on the outer part. As you can see, I bring my blush all the way up here above my eyebrow, and I put a little bit of it on my eyelid and make sure everything is blended out. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side of my face. Now we're gonna move on to my eyebrows. So I know that we already put our brow product there, but I wanna define it more. So I'm gonna use my very trusted eyebrow pen. This is by Wonderbrow. So if you can see, it is very fine and it definitely makes your eyebrows look more natural, and I absolutely love it. I start at the bottom. I'm gonna come closer so you can see, but I'm gonna start at the bottom, draw some strokes there to make it look more defined, and I extend my tip, and then I slowly go in the middle and draw eyebrow hair. So as you can see, it added that look where I have more eyebrows, and I just love it so much. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And as you can see, my eyebrows look fuller. Moving on to my eyes, I'm just gonna do a simple eye look. Since I already have my eyelash extensions, I just wanna add a color. So I'm gonna use this Too Faced palette, and I absolutely love using this palette. I've had it in such a long time, and I'm gonna use this one color over here, this one. I'm just gonna pick that up and distribute it on my eyelids. I'm going to move on to powders now. So a powder that I've been loving is this Huda Beauty. So since I had on pink blush, this will go so perfectly. I have this in the shade Cherry Blossom Cake. I'm going to get a powder puff, which you can get this from Amazon, and I just press that and pick up some product, and I'm gonna put that in the center of my face. This powder just makes my makeup look so good. I don't know what's in this powder, it just makes it look so good. Like the finish looks so airbrushed. I also put some on the middle of my forehead over here. Since I do like that glowy look, I tend to just put mainly my powder in the center of my face and put some on my nose and on the sides of my face down here. Now I'm going to use my powder blush. This is from Hourglass. It is in the shade Sublime Flesh, so it's a really good pinkish. It has glitter on it, so it will definitely be a perfect topper for the blush that I have. So I'm just gonna focus that right here. And I put a little bit on my nose. Now using the Dior highlighting palette, this is in the shade 001 Universal. Oh my gosh, this is just so pretty. It's so shimmery and such a perfect highlighter. So what I do is I grab this fluffy brush that I have from Dibs. I just swirl it first on the two golden color. I put that on top of my contour, and then on the other side of the brush, I'm going to pick up that pink and white color, and I'm gonna put that on top. And this just gives me the prettiest shimmer. Put a little bit on my nose. Okay, now I'm gonna take off my clips, and now we're gonna move on to the lips. This is Makeup Forever. This is the shade 610. First, I'm going to line my lips. Now I'm going to grab this lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. This is Stoned Rose. So this is just like a, oh, it looks really bad, but this is the color. And I'm gonna put that in the middle of my lips. And I'm going to grab my Hourglass. This is like a pretty dark red lip. I'm just gonna put that. And this is the final look. Thank you for getting ready with me today. If you had fun watching this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Love you.